Let's quickly review the changes we made to add Raven to this application. On index.js, we added these few lines to configure and initialize Raven. And then in our HTTP service, we added this line to capture an exception and store it on Sentry.io. There are a couple of issues with this implementation. Let's go back to our index.js. The first issue is that we have polluted this module with the details about setting up our logging service. Index.js is a high-level module and is responsible for bootstrapping our application. It's like a manager, it's delegating tasks. The details of this task should not be here. So that is the first issue. We have polluted index.js with the details of our logging service. The second issue is that our current implementation makes it hard to replace Raven with another library in the future. Because if you want to replace Raven with another library, another implementation, we have to search in our project, and anywhere we have a reference to Raven, we need to modify that reference with something else. And chances are the other login library we use may not have a method called capture exception. It might have a different method, the parameters might be different. So we have to make several changes across different files to replace Raven with another library. To solve this issue, we need to extract all the logic for working with Raven and put it in a separate module. This way we will have a single place for working with Raven. And if we decide to replace Raven with another library with another login service, there is only a single place we need to modify. Let me show you. So once again, in our services folder, let's add a new file. We call it log service.js. In this file, we need to add two functions. One is init, and the other is log, which takes an error. Now we should get the implementation of these functions from our other modules. So back to index.js, let's grab these few lines, cut them, and put them in our init function. Obviously, we need to import Raven on the top. So let's grab the import statement from our index module and put it right here. Now we need to implement our log function. That's pretty easy. So back to our HTTP service, this is how we log using Raven. Let's cut this and put it right here. And finally, we need to export a default object with two methods, init and log. So this is the interface of our logging service. Our logging service has two methods, init and log. These are the methods that we're going to use in our application code. So back to index.js. On the top, we need to import our logging service from services/log service. We could also call this logger. That is a nicer, shorter name. Now here we call logger.init. See what happened here? Our index module is no longer polluted with the details of setting up our logging service. The details are somewhere else inside of this method. That is better. Now back to our HTTP service module. On the top, we no longer need to import Raven. Let's import logger from log service. And then if we have an unexpected error, here we call logger.log and pass this error object. With this refactoring, we no longer have a reference to Raven in this module or index module. The only place we have referenced Raven is inside of our log service. If tomorrow we decide to replace Raven with another library, this is the only file, the only module that we need to modify.